Welcome back to another episode of Inside Access Control, sponsored by SIA. I'm very excited today to have Eddie Reynolds join me. She's with Iluminar. And there's Eddie saying hello. I appreciate that. Eddie and I just recently got to know each other. Excited to have her come on. It's a different subject than we've covered before, so I think you'll find it interesting as it impacts the access control, security, video, the entire community of what we have. So, Eddie, thank you very much for taking the time to join us and tell your story.
Pleasure to be here. Lee, it seems like we've been connected without actually knowing each other. So it's like after all these years in the industry to finally meet you virtually, at least, get to meet you and have me on this platform. I very much appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's an interesting byproduct of the pandemic that I think, through all the bad that's happening, a positive thing is like the networking side has actually increased, I believe, in some aspects, because maybe it's not just sales focused and, focused on a trade show or that, but it's forcing some of these type of relationships. So yeah, so we met through other people and now we have the opportunity to get to know each other a bit more. So I'm excited for it. It's actually probably the part that I enjoy the most out of having the opportunity to do these things. So very cool. All right, so why don't we do this? If you don't mind, give a little bit of your background of who you are, how you got to where you are. People love that side of getting to know people. And then tell about the company, and then we'll jump into some topics from there.
Okay, my name is Eddie Reynolds. I'm president and CEO of Iluminar. Iluminar is a manufacturer of LED-based infrared and white light illuminators. I started in the industry as a systems integrator in the mid-90s. And then in 2000, I went to work for a manufacturer of lenses, which was Rainbow CCTV. At the time, Rainbow CCTV brought in some technology called infrared illuminators, and they were big bulb-based lamps that would get really hot and could burn you. And then so that's how I learned about lighting. So I've been selling lighting for the past 20 years. In 2009, I started with my business partner, Joni Hamasaki. We started Iluminar, and Iluminar is a international business. We have deployments of lighting around the world on every continent that I know of, except for Antarctica. So when people ask, how do your lights work in different climates? And I tell them that, again, we are all over the globe, except for Antarctica. I don't know if we are there or not.
Not a problem. But you can benefit of the doubt, maybe you are. But yeah, so in the majority of the way that you go to market, through a channel, or how do you do that?
Yes, so we go to market through distribution, and we have some systems integrators that are direct as well. The large ones are direct. So those are the ways we go to market.
Very nice. And so from the importance of on the lighting end, not to state the obvious, but so if you think about a good amount of our listeners, maybe from the access control, and they dabble in the video side and the rest of that. So if you could speak a little bit to the value proposition of which the lighting brings and the use cases of where we'd use it, can you highlight some of those?
Yeah, so anywhere you have a camera, basically you want to have lighting, because without lighting, there is no video. So wherever you have a camera, you want to put a light, because the camera, just like our eyes need lights to see, cameras need lights to see. Just like the cell phones or your iPads, whenever you're taking a picture or video and it's dark, you put on the LED light to enhance video. CCTV works the same way. It also works the same with access control. You can use our lighting, and our lighting has telemetry or relays. And if somebody comes up on the scene, if you want to have a motion detector there and a white light, you can have it triggered by motion. So that way it lights up, so you can actually see the face of the person or the color of their shirt. Because the LEDs we use, especially in our white light illuminators, so white light illuminators are a visible light that you can actually see, and the color temperature rating is similar to natural sunlight, so it allows you to see true color pictures 24/7. So your whites are white, your yellows are yellow, your oranges are oranges. It doesn't distort the coloring of your video. We also make infrared, and infrared is a invisible light. It's an invisible light, so you don't see the light, but you need to have a camera that is IR sensitive, or other words, has a mechanical IR cut filter that takes it into black and white mode, and then the camera can see the light that's coming out of the illuminator, but we can't see it with our naked eye. And with that, you have 850 nanometers, which is standard. It gives a faint red glow. 940 nanometers, you don't see a glow, but the distance gets cut in half, and those are used for instance, with animals or any kind of covert. We do sleep labs with that, and that's a little bit about our lighting products.
Okay, so it makes sense. I mean, I can understand the having good light would help drive the picture and make things more visible. So talk to me about then why wouldn't people, like, what usually gets in the way from them not doing this? Is it maybe a fact that they're not aware that you need these things, or, you know, I'm guessing budget may come into play on some cases on that. They may not see it as a price. Like what are, like, because you would think you invest all this money into a system that you would want to have it lit properly so it can, you know, to the extreme of what it should be able to do. So what are some of the things that get in the way?
That's a great question, Lee. It's being uneducated on lighting. Some people don't know about lighting. Some people think that the lighting inside of the camera is sufficient, and it's not. Our lighting, having an external light fixture, allows you to match the field of view of the lens of the camera, what the camera sees, with our light, so that way you get an evenly lit picture with no hot spots in the middle. I get a lot of people asking me, well, why don't you have smart IR so when someone comes on the scene, then the light adjusts? Well, if you specify lighting correctly, you don't need those gimmicks. You don't need diffusers. You don't need smart IR. It's just learning how to specify lighting correctly to make it a good picture. And again, it's just because people don't know, or the manufacturers of the cameras always talk about how low lux level is needed for good lighting. But in reality, you're not going to get the distance, the longevity of the distance on the lighting as you would an external light fixture. And lighting built into cameras degrade faster over time because there's nowhere for the heat to dissipate when you have the electronics of the camera and the LEDs in one housing. There's no way for the heat to dissipate. So we have heat fins on the back of our lights to have the heat dissipate. So at a trade show, I'll have the light on for 8 hours and I can still pick it up.
Sure.
This is LED, it's cool. And it doesn't attract insects, where an integrated camera, which means a camera with built-in lighting, attracts insects. They're attracted to that heat. So if you have a sensor going off every time there's motion on your camera, then you're getting it all the time, especially in the summertime when the bugs are, you know, having a good time coming out and enjoying the summer months.
Yeah, absolutely. So it kind of reminds me, I was telling you earlier, I started my career at Lutron, and we saw this sort of art and science of lighting and the proper way to do it, where it's when done correctly, or even just when an attempt to do it is better than the non that would exist, and really the level that of increased visibility, just the look and the feel and the rest of it. So I guess a couple questions on that side. Do you see lighting designers as a channel or an influencer into what you're doing? Is that an area? Because I don't typically, this is the first conversation that I've had where it's sort of like bridging the lighting control side of my past into the security side, other than light being a deterrent of bad people type thing. But do lighting designers get into specifying products like this at all, or how do you see that?
As far as Iluminar is concerned, we don't have lighting designers getting involved because our lighting, it's just a fixture, and we don't have any, outside of the telemetry and relay, there's no way for them to turn it on. It's not used for lighting inside of buildings, like, architectural
Okay, so
lighting.
it's not like
and things
decorative
that.
at all.
It's not decorative,
It's
correct.
more like utility based, if you would.
It's commercial and industrial,
Right.
is
Okay.
is what it is. So
Totally fair. I got that. Okay. And then it's low voltage, correct? So you don't
correct.
need a high voltage license. Well, maybe in some code requirement areas, but it's not like an electrician in that is needed to do it. This is something that dealers who are already pulling, that may already have the
Correct.
license and the ability, they could incorporate this into what they do also.
Right, because our lights take 12 to 24 volts DC or 24 volts AC. We also make PoE plus, and high PoE lighting as well.
Oh, okay, so it's even an opportunity for the more IT centric
Correct.
side of the business of people. So it's a solution. This is a classic case of when properly designed in the right use case for the right requirement, that you need good lighting in order to do that. Got
Correct.
it. Okay.
And like you said before, if you're going to spend money on your surveillance system, why would you leave out lighting? Because when something happens and you can't get good quality video, then what was the point of spending all that money on your surveillance? Yeah. So many times I watch Forensic Files, or they have this new show called See No Evil, and it's about surveillance, helping them capture the bad guy.
Right.
But the quality of video is horrific because they don't have good lighting. So it's all pixelated, and I'm thinking, how can they see what's going on?
It builds drama, Eddie. They're building drama. Yeah.
They are building drama. And it was actually funny, on one of the Forensic Files, one of the officers spoke about having good lighting to help get good video quality, and they would have been able to catch the bad guy sooner if they were able to recognize him, but the picture was so pixelated. So he did mention to add lighting to your surveillance, and I thought that was awesome.
Well, there you go. There's your spokesperson.
There you go.
So yeah, switching gears just a little bit. Is there anything, what you or Iluminar, what are you looking for right now? Is it more dealers? Everyone wants more customers, so you can't use that one, Eddie. But
that's what we're looking for.
Yeah. So outside of that, what else are you looking for that, if I'm watching this, that would trigger me to say, yeah, I can help there or do that? What is something?
Really just getting the word out about lighting and just how important it is, and just kind of putting it in people's minds that lighting is imperative to a successful surveillance system. I mean, you can use it in CCTV. The infrared is used for that. It's used also for entertainment purposes. When, like, certain shows, when they have a confession room, and you see them in the dark, there's actually LED lighting in there. And educating people on white light. You don't have to use it just for surveillance. You can use it just to light up an area. Like you said, if you don't want to spend a lot of money running electricity, you can use it to just light up an area. It doesn't have to be used just for surveillance. And also, our lighting is agnostic, so it goes with any camera on the market. And so we have a lot of camera technology partners and other technology partners, which is great. But also for license plate capture, we can take any camera that's IR sensitive and turn it into a license plate capture camera. You just have to make some adjustments, which I can help with that. So there's just educating people on the many facets of lighting, that it's not just for surveillance.
Wonderful. And if I wanted to find out more information, where's the best place for people to go to do that?
So you can go to our website at www.Iluminar Inc. That's ILUMINARINC.com. You can call us at 281-438-3500, or you can also email us at sales, SALES, at illuminarinc.com.
Wonderful. So it sounds like a product that makes total sense if you're a dealer, contractor, specifying, selling,
Correct.
access control,
Yep.
video systems, the rest, and you want to be able to get proper lighting so that the systems will work to the best of their ability. This is a great companion type sale to go with it. It also seems like a good revenue opportunity for people for add-on sales of parts and pieces
Absolutely.
on that side.
Absolutely.
So
You hit the nail on the head with that. It's leaving money on the table because the customer is going to put lighting in somehow.
right.
So you're leaving money on the table, and you should sell a complete system instead of just bits and pieces. Sell a complete solution to your customer. Let them come back to you and say, hey, you know what? This video isn't looking as good as I thought. So let's revisit the lighting. And so you can go back to even customers that you haven't talked to in a long time and say, hey, let's look at your video. I've got this lighting product that we can put up and enhance the quality of video. So you can go to new applications, but also old applications that you have installed already.
Wonderful. Well, Eddie, thank you very much for taking the time. I appreciate it. It's always great to meet new people in the industry. I love it's it's a different subject than a lot of people have talked about. More people need to know about it. So I look forward to this being a long-term relationship of working together. So thank you for taking the time, and good luck with everything.
All right. Thank you, Lee. I appreciate the opportunity.
Of course. Thank you.
Take care.